really, we could go a number of ways with this. You look at the points, you look at the rebounds, you look at the efficiency on defense. What was the number one thing that impressed you the most tonight?
Well, we talked about it, the points in the paint. Lobos not allowing very many, only 2 in the first half and then 16 in the second half, but they were able to score 56 points in the paint. There wasn't an issue for the Lobos in terms of scoring the basketball. That was an issue. It was all about defense, and I thought they set the tone in the first half on the defensive end.
And with Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. both out with injuries, the question was, where was the extra scoring going to come from? Yes. Well, they got their answer. Donovan Dent with 24 and Tru Washington with 19. They did a phenomenal job filling in.
They did. I mean, like I said, on the defensive end, and then, of course, offensively, has never been an issue for New Mexico to produce points. Tru Washington stepped up big time offensively.
And really, not a lot of adjustments needed to be made, but we'll pick an adjustment. The adjustment of the game brought to you by The Joint, the official chiropractor of UNM Athletics. When they were in the second half, the Lobos had dominated in the paint. All of a sudden, the Waves started to get it going, but defensively, they were able to make the necessary adjustments late with the big lead.
Yeah, and a lot of that, I think the adjustment was in the first, really, their defensive effort in the first half. When they started, it was just that full court press, that trap that really gave Pepperdine problems, and they were able to turn them over quite a bit, turning them over 15 times, whereas the Lobos had 11 turnovers. I thought that was a big part of their adjustment in terms of just that full court pressure.
90-71 the final as the Lobos defeat Pepperdine, winners of their last 4, and 5 out of 6 to get the year started. When we come back to the Dollar Loan Center here in Henderson, Nevada, we'll be joined by Lobo head coach Richard Pitino. He's going to be in a great mood as the Lobos defeated the Waves of Pepperdine 90-71. We'll be joined next by Coach Richard Pitino. This is Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
I didn't send a player. I think just media.
All right.
Back at the Dollar Loan Center. This is Lobo basketball from Albertsons Radio Row, and New Mexico 90-71 winners over Pepperdine. They scored 90-plus points and won all 3 games they played in the Ball Dogs Classic here at the Dollar Loan Center. Along with Lobo legend Hunter Green, I'm Matt Neverett in for Rob Portnoy, and joined now by our favorite guest of the day, Lobo head coach Richard Pitino. Coach, congratulations not only on the win today against Pepperdine, but the great performance all week, the phenomenal start to the season. You've been dealing with some injuries, a lot of really great supplemental play leading up to it. Today, the big ones, Donovan Dent, Tru Washington, had to have loved the performance of them today and all week.
Yeah, hard to lose 2 all-conference guards and play as well as we did today. I think it speaks to the depth of the team. I loved just defensively the way we flew around in the first half. I loved the way we were sharing the basketball. We had 19 assists. We should have had about 24 or 25. We dropped some passes on some back cuts. I keep telling them, and especially when Mash and House do get back, whenever that is, when you play balanced offensive basketball and everybody is eating, as they call it, you play for each other a little bit more. And I love the balance that we had. Flew around defensively in the first half. Only gave up 2 made field goal, 2-point shots. Obviously, 3-point line was an issue. And then free throw line, we gave up 13 points there, but a really good performance.
Coach, talk about the strategy defensively in the first half. You guys brought the energy. Was it just to crowd the middle, or was it the full court trap?
We were trapping ball screens with the 5-man. We've been doing that all weekend. That's been good. But I thought what we did a great job of was they're really good isolation basketball players. We were almost trapping on the drive and then fully rotating. That's why we gave up a couple threes, but we wanted to keep the ball out of the paint because they've got 2 really good offensive players. And we talked about just keeping them below their average. I mean, obviously, Ajayi got 16 towards the end, but I thought we did a pretty good job on him.
Mallet, you guys kept Mallet.
Yeah. We had to scramble because they're really good at playing one-on-one.
Stylistically, early on in the season, you played a lot of different types of styles, and they've all kind of worked. You've done a great job of scoring, great job defending. What type of style, we'll say on the offensive, do you want to continue to see from your team as you get into the end of non-conference play?
Balance, a box score that looks like 5-6 guys in double figures, and the shots are distributed somewhat evenly because we've got good talent there. I think that Nelly, you're starting to see him get better and better, more comfortable in the post, which we thought. I mean, as I said, if we would have just shot a normal one, we'd be high 90s from the free throw line. And we'll be better shooting the 3. I mean, Jamal Baker making shots was great. Tru Washington was terrific. 19, 12, 5 steals was great. But I think we have enough talent to where that box score should look very, very diverse and balanced every day, every game.
Was that kind of on purpose to try to feed Nelly more? Because it seemed like he got a lot more touches, especially in the first half in the post.
Yeah, they play somewhat behind in the post. We thought we had somewhat of an advantage there. Nelly's just got to continue to get confidence. I think at first you saw him kind of out of rhythm below the rim a little bit, where they were one-on-one. They weren't trapping him. They weren't really digging. So he's got to go score. Morris was terrific at it. Nelly will get there for sure.
And we'll be joined shortly by Tru Washington, the best game of his young college career in his first start. He's a guy who seemed like he was ready to go chomping at the bit. People forget that he's barely 18 years old, and he had a phenomenal performance, double-double, the fourth Lobo with the double-double so far.
You got to take nobody wants injuries, but you have to take advantage of it when guys are out. Donovan Dent certainly has done that with Jalen House's absence. Tru Washington stepped up with Mash's absence. To lose a guy at Mash who's played so many minutes is hard. And, we just said before the game, stay within yourself, but take advantage of the opportunity that's presented for you.
Coach, overall, this trip.
Yeah, I went undefeated with, obviously, House and Mash not playing one of the games. Terrific. I thought we grew defensively. We were way more disruptive, flying around. I told the guys, let's find a way to go 5-1, and then let's find a way to get home. These tournaments are hard for a lot of reasons. I feel like we've been here for about a month. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We didn't look tired, which was huge, because sometimes you can feel that way over the course of these trips.
You kind of led me into my next question. You've got 3 home games between now and your next trip to the Dollar Loan Center against Santa Clara on the 9th of December. What do you hope to see in those 3 games that you can build on coming back to Las Vegas in a couple
Well,
weeks?
I think every game is different, and so what we need to do, we have to take 2 days off. I know our guys will be fired up for that. And then we got to get back to work, and continue. We changed our offense after the St. Mary's game, and it's been really, really good. And now we got to continue to flow and share the basketball and read what the defense has given us, and then continue to take steps defending, but rebounding the basketball. We've been pretty good this trip.
New Mexico defeats Pepperdine 90-71. Coach Rich Pitino, win number 40 for you in New Mexico, win number 199 of your career. Best of luck. Have a safe trip back home.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
That's a big-time win there. Team that's had a big-time start to the season overall. Yep. We'll be joined here in a moment by a guy who had a big-time game in Tru Washington, but I thought that what Coach Pitino had to say about the depth, we knew that was going to be big coming in, but a lot of times you don't necessarily know how it's going to play out until you go out there with the ball.
Well, especially early on in the season like this, you don't get opportunities to really play a lot of your bench. And in these tournaments, you to be successful, you got to play 9-10 guys, and he was able to do that.
You got to track down Tru Washington, but another guy that had a big game, kind of sneaky, was Jamal Baker Jr. Finished with a quiet 14 points, and with a team that has lost a lot of depth, especially in the backcourt. Performances like that from a 7th-year, 25-year-old graduate transfer cannot be understated.
Well, we talk about the freshmen getting minutes and getting acclimated to Division I basketball. It's the transfers that have kind of struggled a little bit, but Baker coming out hit 2 threes. I thought he was early on. He was very active defensively, knocking down threes, and offensively. The Lobos need Baker to be more comfortable. They need Amstel to be more comfortable in the in just playing, period, because these guys have transferred into the program. It's taken a little bit longer, but they're getting there.
And for a guy like you had mentioned, Mustafa Amstel, 0 for 3 from the field. He's a guy that they're going to look to get going throughout the year, but he's a guy who's experienced and likely has that in the bag, right?
Yeah, I mean, looking at his resume, yes, but he hasn't had much success as a Lobo, and we need him to have some success.
We're joined here on the post-game show by a guy who's already had some success as a Lobo in his first year, Tru Washington. Congratulations on the effort. Your big-time performance, your first career double-double, and your first career start. When did you know you were getting the start, and what went through your mind when you got the news?
I knew I was getting the start today. When we went through the walkthrough, he put me in the first group. What's going through my head, I just knew we had 2 players missing. We had 2 players that was missing, so I knew I had to step up. We all had to step up as a team, and we got the job done today.
Well, how did you feel when you first went out there? I mean, were you a little nervous getting the start?
No, I was never nervous. Okay. I've been playing basketball for a little while. It's all just confidence. And, Coach Pitino is always building everybody confidence, so it just gave me confidence to go out there and play hard.
19 points on 7 of 13 shooting, 12 rebounds in the game. Which were you more happy about, the shooting or the rebounding performance tonight?
Let me tell you, you had 5 steals, brother.
That helps as well.
That was huge.
It was, to be honest, it's just a blessing to be out there and do what I do on the big stage like this.
Yeah, no question, man. And as a freshman, kind of where you are now, talk about your confidence. We talk about your confidence. What do you bring to this team more so than any other player on the team?
I feel like I bring defense, the energy. I feel like I'm a defensive player before I'm an offensive player. So if I bring my defense, I know my offense is going to fall right in place.
Great. 5-1 start to the year, 3-0 here in the Bulldogs Classic. This team is one that has kind of developed, and you've been a big part of that. What have been some of the main things that you have been focusing on as a team, as a unit, especially on these neutral site tournaments like this?
Just clicking together, coming together as a team. We missing 2 players, so with them being out, we just got to keep building what we got right now.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of jump trapping, and I think that's where you got a lot of your steals from. Is that something that coaches just are putting into the defensive schemes?
Yeah, I feel like it. I mean, we got me and Quentin, who's very active on defense, so it's them steals gonna come easy when you have both of us pressing you.
And you guys had plenty of success tonight on that high-low slip. Tell us a little bit about what goes into that play and on the timing. What are some of the keys for you guys as a team?
We kind of work on that daily, so I get the ball to the big man. I got to cut back door. It's kind of like the eye connection, like, oh, it's there. So before I even give it to him, he sees it, the big man reads it, and he throws it over.
It's like a timing play, and it seems like you guys are getting that. Because Nelly hadn't been with you guys early on, but now you guys getting better timing.
Yeah.
So there it is, Tru Washington, 19 points, 12 rebounds, a first career double-double in your first career start, and most importantly, you get the 90-71 win. Congratulations on your performance today and all week, and the best of luck the rest of the way out.
Appreciate it.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
That's Tru Washington. We'll step aside one final time here on the post-game show, brought to you by Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Hunter Green and myself, Matt Neverett, will wrap things up next. You're listening to Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Back one final time from the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson. 90-71. The New Mexico Lobos defeat the Pepperdine Waves, go a perfect 3-0 in the Bulldogs Classic. Winners over Toledo 92-85. They defeated Rice Wednesday 90-56. And for the third consecutive game, the Lobos put up 90 or more points and defeat Pepperdine to move to 5-1 on the year, 3-0 in neutral site games. Big performances by Donovan Dent, 24 points and 7 assists, and Tru Washington, his first career double-double, 19 points, 12 boards, and 5 rebounds. 3-0 on the trip, 5-1 to start the year. This is as good as it gets for Richard Pitino here in his third year with New Mexico. And Hunter Green, your final thoughts on this one, because there was a lot to dissect.
Well, I'll tell you, losing 2 of your all-Mountain West conference players and walking away from this tournament 3-0, giving guys, both freshmen and transfers, minutes to play, valuable minutes, and to be able to win and build on that going home, I think is huge.
Lobos shoot 57% from the field and earned their 5th win in 6 games to get it started. Lobos back in action on Wednesday. They'll welcome Louisiana Tech to the Pit on the 29th. Home games against New Mexico State and UC Santa Barbara to follow. They'll be back here at the Dollar Loan Center on the 9th of December against Santa Clara. Rob Portnoy will be back on the call when the Lobos are back in action on the hardwood back in Albuquerque next Wednesday. I want to give a big thank you to Hunter Green. Big thank you to Sports Information Director Steve Kirkland. Back to Isaiah in the KKOB studio for all of those and many, many more with New Mexico Athletics. This has been Matt Neverett saying thanks so much for tuning in. Rob Portnoy back on the call next week. And the Lobos, after a 90-71 win against Pepperdine, head into their third home game of the year with a 5-1 record. This has been Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.